Hey guys, what's up? It's JRCuber, and in this video we have another unboxing from thecubicle.com. In here are a few different puzzles. I'm only going to be focusing on one in this video though, so let's go ahead and open it up and see what's inside. Okay, so some exciting stuff, a little bit of a teaser for what's going to be coming next on the channel. But for right now, we are going to be focusing on this puzzle right here. So this is a 7x7 Mastermorphix made by ShengShou, and we have a very nice embossed box here. It's got some good texture on it. You can like feel the individual layers. That's definitely interesting. But let's go ahead and get into this. So here is the puzzle. This is a 7x7 Mastermorphix, the highest order that's ever been mass produced at this point. This is really exciting. I'm so glad that ShengShou has been mass producing these Morphix puzzles. I remember years ago just watching Crazy Bad Cuber's videos on the ones that he got from Tripoom, wondering if I would ever be able to afford some custom made versions, but now they're being mass produced, which is just awesome. So unlike the other versions in this series, this one doesn't really have a name. It's just kind of been called the 7x7 Mastermorphix. I'm pretty sure that if it was named in line with all of the others, it would be the septophobic. I know the 8-layer is the octophobic, and the 6-layer version is called the hexaphobic. So I'm pretty sure this one is the septophobic. I might be wrong on that. I don't know.
The numbers, basically. What do they mean?
The reason why this doesn't really have a name is because the original builder of this puzzle was not Tripoom. Tripoom made pretty much all of the other versions, I think, for the first time. I feel like I'm remembering stuff wrong. But I know for sure that he did not originally create the 7x7, so he didn't really get to name it. But yeah, either way, 7x7 Mastermorphix is still a pretty cool name. I want to go ahead and kind of line this up in the series that we've got going so far. So here we go. This is the full lineup. We have 2x2 through 7x7. These two aren't made by ShengShou, but these four are. You kind of see an interesting switch. After the 5x5, it moves away from glossy plastic, and then the 6x6 is matte plastic. It's also much more of a tetrahedron shape. This 5x5 one is very, very rounded. You can see how much it kind of pillows over the centers. But on here, it comes to much more of a point. And then the same thing carries through to the 7x7. You also get matted plastic and very pointed edges. I hope that ShengShou keeps it going. This is pretty much the full lineup in terms of like WCA puzzles, but 8x8 and 9x9 Morphix puzzles have been made, and ShengShou also mass produces 8x8s and 9x9s, so maybe it'll happen, I don't know. The Morphix puzzles are really, really classics. These are really, really good examples of kind of what I consider to be like a pure modification. You're basically taking a platonic solid and transferring it into another platonic solid. There's just something about it that feels right for a modification. This is basically just a tetrahedron version of a 6-sided 7x7, like a normal 7x7. And there's something about the simplicity of a mod like that that is just really, really appealing. It also changes the solve considerably because you now have split colors across the centers, which means this basically functions like a supercube. The hardest part is definitely, I think, going to be the last center. If I can get through that okay, the rest should be all right, and the other centers shouldn't be too terribly difficult either. All right, let's actually turn this thing, see how it moves. Yeah, it definitely turns all right. It doesn't turn as good as like modern ShengShou speed cubing 7x7s, but for a modification, this turns totally fine. You know, pretty great. Just like all of the other ShengShou Morphix puzzles. Morphix puzzles also look they don't really look checkered when you put it into a checkerboard, but I'll still do it just so you can get, see what it looks like. Yeah, it's still a pretty cool pattern, just it doesn't really resemble a checkerboard that much. Of course, this puzzle also shapeshifts as well, so when you do a 90-degree turn and start doing turns like that, you can see it definitely changes shape pretty heavily. So I'm really excited to see what this is going to look like all scrambled, so I think it's time to do that. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this scramble. All right, so there we go. That is what the puzzle looks like all scrambled. A total mess. Man, this is going to be quite a solve. What I think I'm going to do is kind of walk through the first center, and then I'm going to go ahead and fast forward until the last center, because, I don't think I need to explain what I'm doing for every single center, but I'll go through the first one. Okay, so what to start with? I guess we'll just go ahead and start with this one on top. We got yellow and green. So we're going to build a bar across this way. So we need 2 yellow pieces that slope down a little bit. So let's just start looking for this one, which is right here, and the curves do indeed match, so that's a good fit. Now we need to find the one that goes next to it. We can test out this one, and that one also fits. We're getting lucky. I think this one will go, this one we can move right over here, this green piece, and I'm pretty sure that'll fit. Yep, and then we can look for a last one here. Will this fit? No, not quite. Oh, but that one works. Okay, so we have our first bar here. Go in and line it like that. Now let's build this bar next to it. So same deal, it's gonna have 2 different colors in the same bar, but the split is gonna be on this piece instead of on this piece. So let's just see if we can find any piece that fits. I think this green one will go okay there. Yep. So we can start use that as our starting point. We need to find a green piece that comes next to it here. So the piece that goes next to it is going to be green and yellow. So there's a green and yellow piece. Is that the right one? Yes. And it also has another yellow connected to it already, which is awesome. So let's find another one. There's another one. And can we find a 5th one? Ooh, this one. Oh, want to make sure we don't break up our bar. There it is. It's still intact. Okay, there's our second bar. So this will go right there. Awesome. Luckily with a puzzle like this, it's pretty easy to tell if the pieces are actually in place. Sometimes with shape mods, you get centers that are just a little bit off, and it seems like they kind of match up and line up, but not quite. But with this, it's really easy to tell. All right, so now for this bar, the split piece is going to be on the very end. So we're going to find one piece that has green and yellow, and then the rest will be yellow. So that piece is going to come from right here. There you go. I know that this piece is correct because it lined up when I moved it upwards. So now we need to find a piece that goes in the middle that's not this yellow piece. So this yellow piece we're looking for is going to stick up a bit, which this one does. And that is the right angle. There we go. Okay, now we need to find some more sloping yellow pieces like this one, which will fit there. And then this one, which I think... Oh, whoops, nope, that's totally the wrong piece. And that one's not it. This one, ooh, there you go. Boom, okay. There's our third bar. So now for the other bars on the other side, this bar here is gonna have 3 green pieces, and then a split piece, and then a yellow piece. Yep. That piece will go in there, so we can start working on a bar that goes in this direction. This looks promising. Yep, that matches. So now a third green piece that goes in the middle, I believe, will come from here. Turn this up. Yep, that matches right there. So now we need a split piece that has green and yellow. That looks like one. I think that'll work. Totally. And now a yellow piece, which I think will come from here. Yep, there we go. All right, so that's our fourth bar. And in. Okay. Now for our last bar. So this is going to have 4 green pieces and then 1 split yellow piece. So will this fit there? Yep. So we need to build a bar going in this direction. So let's start our hunt for some green pieces. There's one that I think will match. Yep. Third one I think can come from here. So we can move those out of the way and flip this. Yep, and that matches. Oh, it looks like we found our last 2 already paired together. Would you look at that? Yep. Okay. So there is our first center. So that's pretty much the process, and it's actually pretty much only going to get easier from here, since as we solve faces, there is less places for the pieces to hide. So I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite center now, and then we'll just keep on going. All right, another center done. Let's keep going.
Another one. Another one.
And our fifth center is done. So now, as you can see, we have a total mess on this top here. Okay, I have to kind of remember how to do this. If I remember right, for big super cubes like this, you kind of just work your way outwards. So I want to start by getting this little inner 3x3 done. So I think we should start with the corners. So we need to do a 3 cycle of corners between these 3 pieces here. What we can do is cycle in this yellow piece with another yellow piece. And if we do that, nothing changes on the solved face. It does change the order of the pieces here though. Yep, so this remains solved, but we've now moved around these pieces. So I want to do that again here with this red piece. I think if we do a cycle here, it'll move this one over to here. So that is definitely something that we want. Should also leave the top side unaffected. Yep. Okay. These two are in now, and it also looks like these two are in. It didn't quite look like that at first, but if you actually follow the curve with the center, it actually does line up. It's just that all these edges are not solved, so it doesn't really look solved, but we'll do those next. So we basically do the same thing, but just with edges this time. So I think we can move this one over to here. I think we can basically swap these two, but we need to cycle in with another yellow edge, which we can get from this layer. Let's try it. See what happens. Oh, whoops, that's not quite right. Here. Yep, that's better. So bring up this middle layer, this back, bring this down, and bring that back. Yep, this one's now solved. So let's go ahead and do the same thing here. I believe, yep, when I'm turning up this side, I'm looking for the piece that I want to swap, which is this piece. I want to swap this piece with this one. I want to make sure that this piece matches with the piece that I'm turning up to. So I'm basically replacing this piece with this one, and I want those pieces to be identical. So you can see when I turn up, it's still flush. So I know that this is the identical piece. So then I can finish out the commutator by turning this over and then replacing this piece with this middle piece. That basically completes the swap. And now we can turn back and undo that first move, and then turn back. Whoops, didn't quite do that right. And then turn this back and undo the second move. So there you go. Now these two are done. So now we just need to swap these last two yellows. So once again, I want to see that this piece, when it moves up here, it's replaced by its identical piece. And it actually looks like I messed something up. That's not good. Hold on. What the heck did I do? This is not going to be hard to fix. I can just do that. Okay. Now this is restored. I don't know what I did, but it's not really important because we're not there yet. All right, for these two, when this piece turns up, I want it to replace an identical piece, which is not this piece, it's this one. It's a different angle. So we can turn that up, move this over, turn up the middle, move this back, turn this back down, turn this over, turn this back down. Okay, there we go. Okay, I don't know why. Oh my gosh, what the heck have I done? What am I doing here? Okay, I don't know what happened again, but whatever. Either way, this middle 3x3 is now done. Now what I want to do is get all these outer corners. These two are already in, which means we just need to do a 3 cycle that involves these two. And once again, this is the same concept. So I'm going to replace this yellow piece with an identical yellow piece from this side, which is going to come from here. And as you can see, that still matches. So we're basically doing the same commutator, just using the outer layers instead of the inner layers. So when we turn this over, it'll bring this one into the right spot. It'll bring this one into the right spot. and it'll swap the piece that was in this layer up here, but since it's identical, nothing's changed. Now I want to do the very inner edges, and then we'll save these kind of wing edge centers for last. So same kind of thing to swap these two middle centers. I want to make sure we have an identical yellow piece that we're turning up to. That's going to be this edge, so we'll do up, over, up, over, down, over, and down. And once again, we haven't destroyed anything, and we've swapped these two pieces. Okay, now just for the wing pieces, I think we can swap this piece with this one. So I want to find this piece on this side, which is going to be here. Yep. So this can come up to here, turn this over, move that up, move this down, and bada bing, bada boom. Nothing's broken. I can do a swap with this piece and this piece, and then that'll set me up perfectly to do one more swap between these two red pieces. That's exactly what I want. So now I need to find an identical red piece, which I believe is going to come from here. If we turn it to this side, yep. So we can do a commutator like this. We can turn this up, and then we're going to need to turn up the layer right beside it, right there. Turn this back. Bring down just that outer layer, and then do the same thing with this second layer. Okay, one more swap left. And it looks like we don't even need to set anything up. We're already all set up for it. This piece can turn up to replace this identical piece on this top layer. So then we can just finish out the commutator. Whoops, almost got a pop there. We can turn this back. Turn this back, and voila, we are done. At least done with centers, that is. We still have edge pairing, but the hardest part is over. I'm just gonna kind of line up these centers so you can kind of see that Mastermorphix shape start to take place now that all the centers are done. All right, edge pairing. Edge pairing is actually pretty simple. You just kind of go off a shape, and there's only a few different colors, so you kind of get repeat edges, so it's pretty easy to pair stuff up. You can see a lot of colors that are already just paired on their own, and that's just because you have 3 identical edge pairs on each side. So definitely is pretty simple. So let's go ahead and begin. We can just free slice this pretty easily. So I'll start with here. We need a small yellow. There's a small yellow. And we also need a big yellow up top, and then another one right next to it. Oh, whoops. Oh, that was a close one. Boom. Another yellow and our first pair. We can do this next yellow pair, which already has 4 of its pieces solved. If I can get this side to move. There we go. The catching isn't really the fault of the puzzle. It's just more so that it's kind of hard to keep things aligned when it's shape-shifted like this. It can get kind of finicky, but there we go. There's another yellow one. All right, let's do this last one before we do last 4. Let's flip this. So there, and there, and oh, it's right there, so there. Okay, come on, gotta line that. There we go. Okay, now we're on last 4. So all of these should realign just fine. Yep, and look at that. There we go. The beauty of free slicing. Makes it look so chaotic for a brief period of time, and then it all just goes back. Okay, last 4. We can bring in this big blue piece right to there. We can go ahead and finish off this entire green edge just by bringing this over, flipping, and then bringing it back. Boom. Just like that. Okay, last 2. Oh, looks like we're going to get parity. That's going to be fun. Bring this over. Flip. Bring this back. All right, so it looks like we have parity with these 2 inner edges. Let's see if I can remember this and not mess it up. So it's 2R, 2B, come on, 2U, L, 2U, R, 2U, 2F, R, 2F, L prime, it should be 2B2R. No, I've messed it up. Okay, I missed a move there somewhere. I don't know where it was. All right, well, we've only damaged 4 edges, so that's not terrible. That definitely wasn't the worst I've ever seen in terms of messing up parity. But hopefully that actually kind of like took it out of the edges. I don't really want to do that again. All right, let's see what the damage is. All right, let's fix this. Okay, and then let's fix this. Oh, I think that took it out. Yep. No more parity. Look at that. All right. Got lucky with that one. Sometimes you mess up parity and then you still get parity, which really sucks. But that is looking really good. Okay, we now have a reduced Mastermorphix. So this really shouldn't be too bad. Just a normal 3x3 Mastermorphix solve. So there's one edge and 2 edges. Let's make sure this is lined up with its center. Oh man, this is like almost popping. This is not good. Come on. There we go. There's a 3rd edge and a 4th edge. Okay. So we need a small blue that's already paired with its edge. That's fantastic. Can go ahead and do F2L. Why not, right? So there's one F2L pair. This one is also already paired. There we go. This yellow needs to be paired with this yellow edge, just like that. And then for this last corner, we need to attach it to a green edge. So just go ahead and do a little something like that. There we go. All right, F2L is done. Oh man, let's see if this top layer, hopefully it doesn't give us too much trouble. So, all right, there's our edges. We also have 1 corner in and 3 out. This is looking really good. I'm pretty sure since this is odd layered, nothing crazy is gonna happen. So that's great news, because I really don't wanna mess around with swapping corners or swapping edges or swapping centers or anything like that. Okay, now just to rotate these 2 corners. So there is one. And, oh, we need to rotate one of the smaller corners as well, because there is 2, but as you can see, it's not solved. So let's just rotate one of these corners where orientation doesn't matter and finish out the cycle. And there we go. There is a solved 7x7 Mastermorphix. So that was a really fun solve. It honestly went a lot smoother than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be kind of more of a challenge, honestly. I don't know, maybe I'm just too good with these. You know, I'm just built different, I guess. I honestly thought that last center was gonna be more of a nightmare, but I think I've pretty much got the swapping technique down with swapping out pieces that are identical from other sides. And it doesn't work on every puzzle, which is unfortunate. Luckily, it does work on this puzzle, but you do get super cubes where, you know, every single piece is different, so it does get a lot harder. But this one, as far as super cubes go, is more so on the easier side. So yeah, really not too bad. So yeah, 7x7 Mastermorphix, great solve, great puzzle. If you guys are into Morphix puzzles, have all the other ones, definitely be sure to add this one to the collection. But if you also just want to dive head first into Morphix puzzles, you've never solved them before, yeah, maybe just go all in, get the 7x7 and see how it goes. This puzzle costs $32 on the Cubicle, so I'll leave a link in the description to where you can get it. Thanks to the Cubicle for sending this to me for free to review. If you guys would like to support the channel, you can like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on notifications, and use code JRCuber at thecubicle.com for a 5% discount. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.